willkommen zu einem neuen Elevator-Interview. Heute habe ich hier einen Gast an meiner Seite, und zwar ist das von Arturia ein Produktspezialist, der Martin. Martin, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Here. Welcome in our studio. You today brought some products with you to present, and I've prepared some questions for you. Maybe you can just give us an answer to that. The first question would be, what is the idea behind these Arturia interfaces we have right in front of us here?
So yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'm really pleased to be here to introduce you our MiniFuse range. So MiniFuse range are USB-C audio interfaces. And we've been in the business of doing audio interfaces for a while now with the AudioFuse range that we started launching 5 years ago. But we saw that for our user, which were, mostly beginners, the one using Minilab, Microlab, or, some of our controller and software, that we should provide like a solution also for them to output their audio and get the audio in the computer and start producing. So that's what the MiniFuse are all about. It's about bringing the best quality, like the best audio quality that we learned to, develop over the years, and to bring it to people who want to start making music or starting a podcast or, that kind of sort of thing. So today we have 3 products. We have MiniFuse 1, MiniFuse 2, and MiniFuse 4, which are going to be available in a few months. So it's quite easy to differentiate them. Sorry for my English. So MiniFuse 1 is about one input. So basically, you're, a guitarist, podcaster. You just have one source. That's the one for you. MiniFuse 2 has 2 inputs, and MiniFuse 4, you guess it, has 4 inputs, so 2 mics and 2 line in, but we'll go into details a bit later.
Yes, I mean, you can see the differences in size also, right? The bigger ones are a bit bigger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Thank you for this introduction. The next question would be, who are these interfaces made for? So which kind of people are probably going to use them and where?
Sure, so actually MiniFuse are fairly simple product, and it's aimed for anyone who need to get the audio in and out from the computer. So you can be a musician, you want to record some sound from your instruments. You can be a producer, so you're working into your computer with your workstation and you want just to, plug a pair of speakers, having a headphones. So that's their main use. But you can also be like podcaster. I'm doing a show, I'm recording a podcast, I got my voice mic. That's exactly the type of product you need. And also DJ, for live use as well. Anything that needs to get audio in and out from the computer, any kind of use case like this will fit.
Okay, cool. So these interfaces are quite versatile, right? You can use them in a lot of use cases. Cool, yeah. Awesome. So which platforms can you use these interfaces on? Okay,
so the whole spirit of the MiniFuse would like to be plug and play. So it's really class compliant. So when we say class compliant, it's USB interfaces, and you don't need specific driver to run it. So we provide a driver, which is a bit of software that you have to install on the computer to get the best performances. But if you take it out the box and you plug it in your computer, it's going to work directly, okay?
Right out of the box. So
yeah, right out of the box.
Plug and play, awesome.
Yeah, and so it works, to answer your question, it works on Mac and on PC. So, all the most
common platforms you can think about.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So, the next question, I've already seen some different connectors on these interfaces. So my next question would be, which kind of external devices can I probably connect to these interfaces?
Sure. So, let's start with the audio domain. So, basically, when you're recording audio, you get 3 different type of sources. Either you get microphone, so if you want to record a voice or an acoustic instruments. You get instruments, so what we call like plug in the jack from your guitar or bass directly.
Maybe we can just show it to our viewers. So we got different cameras installed here. I'm just gonna turn this one around. Maybe
we can put it on the table.
Put it a little bit down.
So the MiniFuse accept all this kind of audio connection. So when you use XLR with XLR cable with your microphone, you can plug it here directly. You can also, in this combo connector, plug directly a jack. So if it's a line input, like such as a synth or a drum machine, you want to record it, just plug the jack in here. And if you have an instrument such a guitar or bass, you will just activate using the button here. It's fairly understandable what it means. Select here and plug your jack here to record your instrument. So
cool.
These are the three types of audio source you can connect. One interesting thing on the MiniFuse 4 is that we also have this kind of multi-function combo connectors, but we also have additional line input to add an additional synth, for example. So you could have my guitar, my bass, my mic for my vocals, and at the same time having like my drum machine running.
Cool. So if you want to have multiple devices, that's no problem with the MiniFuse 4 in this case, right?
Exactly.
Cool. Awesome. And I've also seen you just mentioned the buttons for the instruments. They have crazy cool LED feedback, right? So they are lighting up in cool colors.
Yeah.
Right?
They will we can see it here.
Yeah, maybe. There we have
so
a live
instrument, it's really clear. Actually, we spend quite a lot of effort on the design of these, is how to make things really clear. So it's just like kind of icon, it's clear, and it's really clear when it's selected as well. One cool thing also we won't see here because I need an instrument plugin is that the level of the audio signal, you need to set your gain, you need to adjust, okay, am I recording at the right level? So you have a LED inside the knob that will glow. And so if it's still blue, that's fine. But if it's too hot, signal is too high and you need to reduce the gain, you will see it's getting red also. So it's a very simple and easy way just to show your levels.
Yes. I think we can compare it to different interfaces where you have a separate LED placed above this knob, I guess. And in this case, you have just implemented into the knob. That's quite cool because I've always had the problem if I'm turning the button around and my finger was in front of the LED, and now I have it I can see it from the top of the knob, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
you know what? You see the knob is getting red, turn it down.
Yes,
it's not like, okay, this is red, so now I need to change this. It's like the knob is red, turn it down. Yeah. That's as easy as
pretty cool feature, I guess. Cool. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah. One thing about 48 volts, so this is a bit of a technical feature, but some of the microphone requires some power supply to function. So a lot of actually vocal mic, like the big, large diaphragm, microphone require 48 volts. So if in case your microphone requires that, then you just need to select it and your microphone will work.
Yes,
it has no incidence if you're using any other type of source.
So this is the phantom power button,
that's
I guess,
right?
Yes.
Exactly, that's a phantom power.
Awesome.
Now we can look also at the outputs because for a moment we just mentioned, the source I want to record, but now I want to listen to some stuff. So we have phones output with an individual gain. Okay, so on MiniFuse 1 and 2, it's just one phone. And on MiniFuse 4, you got two independent phones.
Okay, cool. So if you're in the studio with a friend or a different DJ or producer, you can listen with two persons at the same time.
Exactly, you can collaborate, and each of us, you will have your own phone level, and you can adjust as you want.
Cool, awesome.
And for speakers, we all have like line output. So these are usually used for, aim for speaker connection, and you got volume control here to control the level of your speaker. So it's, it's again here. It's pretty easy to use.
Yes, it's a big, huge knob, and you can grab it easily. I guess that's perfect for the studio situation. I guess. Yes, cool.
That's it. And then depending on the model, you can also interact with what you want to listen to. So sometimes you just want to listen to what's coming out from the computer. Okay. Sometimes you also want to listen to a mix between what's coming from a computer and what I'm directly recording. This is named direct monitoring. Okay, you want to do that because when you, for example, play guitar or sing, then you don't want to listen the audio coming out from the computer for your track, for like your own voice, because everything coming from the computer has a tiny little delay. It's the latency due to the connection to the computer. So we have this direct monitoring control, which allows you to do the balance between what's coming from the computer, so it's written USB, and what comes from the inputs. So you can just adjust, the balance between both. So if I play my guitar or I'm singing in my mic, I can adjust the balance between my mic and the backing track, for example, coming from my workstation. So again, it's really easy, and all of these has different way to do so, but it's an essential part, to help doing a great recording and easily.
Yeah, it's cool. All these features with the touch of a button or knob, that's quite easy made and easy to use. That's a really cool feature. If I have an analog MIDI device, for example, a drum machine or something, can I also connect it to the interface?
Sure.
Is there a way?
Sure. So unlike quite a lot of competition or other product this type, we have MIDI I/O using the DIN connector. So this is the classic MIDI connection. So
5-pin MIDI, I guess,
5-pin
right?
DIN
cool.
connection. Exactly, that's what it's called. So you can connect, any controller or synths, and this is really useful when you want, for example, to pilot from your MIDI controller something into the workstation, or vice versa. I'm playing a MIDI track in my computer, and I want to control an external analog synth. So you got this connector to get you sorted with that. Cool. MiniFuse 1, as it's really compact and a smaller version, doesn't have the MIDI I/O, but MiniFuse 2 and MiniFuse 4 here got also the MIDI connection.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, pretty nice features. And I think there are even more connectors. I also saw a USB connection.
Yeah, so that's...
in the modern times, we usually, or quite often have USB MIDI controllers. And I guess you can also connect them to this one?
Yeah, so it comes from the principle of, again, to try to make life easier for the users. And one of the silly little things, especially when you're working with a laptop, for example, is you always lack USB Type B or USB 2, connection. Like it can be for my keyboard, for my mouse, can be for iLock, for a dongle. It can also be for just my small MIDI controller. So we thought, okay, maybe that's a feature we could add. And in fact, it's also present on most of the AudioFuse product. And it's really interesting because I got a user, you do all this feature, and people come to us and say, oh, this hub is so great because you never got enough. And that was, the spirit of it is trying to help the user having a lean and easy setup. So on all the MiniFuse here, you got a USB hub port. On MiniFuse 1 and 2, because these are bus powered, you don't have external power supply. So there's a bit of a limitation on the power you can draw from it. Okay, so that's something to know. It's up to 250 milliampere of power. So that limits to the use of a dongle, keyboard, mouse, and a very small, like the Microlab from Arturia, will connect perfectly on this.
Cool, awesome.
On the MiniFuse 4, because I didn't mention it, but there's a power supply available. So we actually added 2 USB hub, and most USB connection will work on these.
Will work,
because of the power supply.
But you can also use the interface without the external power supply.
Only you get a limited use of the hub in that case.
Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. That's a whole lot of connections and things you can connect to the interfaces, and a lot of use cases I can imagine. If I'm buying this interface, is there some kind of software package I can get to work with this interface?
Sure, and that's actually one of the, I would say, the key point of the MiniFuse. And again, the idea from the beginning of the project was not just to develop like a technical tool, as most of the time interface is about, getting things in and out.
Yes, perfect. And, get everything rooted and sorted.
Yeah, but this time we really were focusing on how we want to offer a complete production system. So you got the hardware to get things connected, but you also have the software, which will enable you to start making music, in fact. So if I'm a beginner, I need various stuff. I need a workstation, I need sounds, I need instruments, and I need FX. And the MiniFuse all cover this whole package. So you can really start from scratch with the MiniFuse. So because we are Arturia, and proud to be.
Yes, cool.
we are proud of our software instrument and FX. So we included an exclusive package from Arturia software. So we got 4 FX from the FX collection. So you got a preamp with an EQ, you got a plate reverb, a tape echo, and a chorus. So basically these are the main FX you need when you start producing music. And on the top of that, we got Analog Lab Intro. So Analog Lab Intro is is a very cool software that we've been releasing for years now, and it's only available actually for free with our hardware product.
Cool.
Or through partners, but it's a kind, you can see it as a browser of the most iconic and famous preset from our V collection. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe you know V collection is like this more 20 plus instruments, keyboards, fantastic keyboard from recreation and modern sounds. And all the 500 best preset from all this collection is inside Analog Lab Intro. So when you get MiniFuse, you get this software that provides you the best synth sound ever. You can go through a lot of type of music, and for me, it's one of the key points for MiniFuse as well. It's this package of software, both FX and instrument with Analog Lab Intro.
Okay.
And on the top of that, we have partnership with great editors in the music domain. So you got Ableton Live Lite included.
Okay, cool.
So Ableton Live is like the best well-known workstation.
Yeah,
you can do your sequence, you can record your audio in it, and it works perfectly with the MiniFuse. Mm-hmm. Then we have a guitar rig. So from Native Instruments. So our friends from Native, they provide Guitar Rig 6 LE. So it's an amazing piece of software, especially for guitarists. You can have all this amp simulation, distortion, whatever. It's a great product too.
Cool, crazy. And that's all included if I'm buying one of these interfaces actually, right?
Yeah, okay. It's included, it's full licenses. And on the top of that, you get 3 months free subscription for autotune. Mm-hmm. So autotune, this special effect that you can use on vocals. And
so you always have the right voice when singing.
Yeah,
right? Okay,
and when I mention also the sounds at the start, is we also have a partnership with Splice. Mm-hmm. So you get a 3 months also free credit with Splice. Good thing to know is even if it's limited time subscription, you keep the sound that you download from Splice. So if you want to start making a track, you're looking for loops, you're looking for samples. You got 3 months free of Splice sounds included with the MiniFuse.
Okay, cool. And then I understand it right that if your subscription runs out, you can still use the samples you downloaded before, right?
Exactly, that's
cool
the
feature.
point.
I didn't even know that about Splice. But
yeah,
cool.
Because Splice is like this fantastic sounds library, with one-shot samples or loops or in any kind of music, even cinematic stuff and sound effects, etc. And the cool thing is, you get credits every month, and the sounds you download, you can keep them on your hard drive. It's yours, so you can use them whenever you want.
Awesome. Yeah, all included in these interface boxes when you buy them from our store. Yeah. Cool. That's an awesome point. How easy is it to install all of this? So if I'm buying this, I'm going to plug it into my PC. What's the process? Usually, you mentioned such a lot of different plugins and software I can use. That sounds for me like it's quite difficult to figure out how to download all of this stuff. I don't know. Do you have any solution to this? Maybe. Yeah,
it's interesting because when you want people beginning in music or beginning in their podcast or starting producing music, you provide a whole package and you say, okay, with everything in the box, you can make music. But then it's like usually it's a bit of a mess to install. It's a bit of technical glitches. Where do I find my licenses? Is everything well installed? How do I learn to use the product? So we had this in mind. At the beginning of the project, we really wanted to make sure that if you're beginning in the music or podcast or anything related with audio on your computer, that we're gonna try to help you as much as we can to get started. So what we did is we implemented this system. So the first time you actually connect the MiniFuse outside the box on your computer, you're going to have a little pop-up, a little icon on your desktop. And if you click on it, you're just going to be directed directly with some internet access for sure. But you're going to get direct access to a dedicated page where we're going to take you by the hand in a way, and show you how to automatically register your product, how you can download the various part of software. So you're going to step by step, and we're going to check out with you all the time that everything is well installed and running. Mm-hmm. And so you get all this process, and it's easy to follow, next. There's nothing to look for in a way. And by the end of the product, or if the process, or even through it, you get videos explaining you, okay, you're going to install this because of that. This is going to be useful for doing this and that. And we have this whole library of tutorials just to explain also how to record a guitar, how to record vocals using MiniFuse, how to get started with Ableton Live Lite, for example, as a first step. Mm-hmm. So everything is included in that kind of, I call it like user journey, how to get started with MiniFuse. And on the top of that is something we came with because as a musician, I always loved, watching videos about how to, this famous guy did this track. Yes. I love that, getting to see how things are working together. So we thought, okay, maybe we could ask our community to create content session using only MiniFuse. And we did so, and we have this about 20 sessions in very various musical genres, so trap music, ambient, electronic, whatever. And we ask a top-notch, professional sound designer and producer to create this Ableton Live Lite session using only what's in the box. Only recording stuff through the MiniFuse, or using splice samples and the effect and, Analog Lab intro.
Cool, because that's all included. You don't need anything else. You can just buy one of these interfaces. You can start through. You're even getting a guide, like I understood now. So that sounds like quite a nice user experience.
Yeah, definitely. And this session, they're available for everyone to download. You can hear and look and quite get into the session to see how a professional get that sound using only what's in the box. And I think for me, that's the best way to learn, to see, okay, this guy took the same tool, took the same MiniFuse as me, the same software, and he did that. Yes. That's awesome.
Yes, just watching these workflows and how these projects are getting along is a crazy nice thing. You can learn a whole lot of it.
Yeah, I think it's useful to learn. Yes. And it's a proof to the user, to the musician, that with these tools, you can do, that level of quality, there's no faking. You get the session, you download it, you see everything in it, and you can do the same.
Yes, cool. So guys, you heard it. Keep on working. Don't stop, never quit. You can do it, even with these cool interfaces here, because it's all included in the box when you buy it. Okay, so let's get to the next point maybe. When I buy one of these interfaces, so maybe our customers are questioning what is the warranty for these devices, for example. So sometimes we are getting some problems with these products, but usually Arturia is quite a good manufacturer. We don't often have these kind of problems, but if there's something wrong with my interface, how long can I get in touch with you guys and maybe get it repaired or exchanged? Or
So that was actually also part of the process developing the MiniFuse, is that at the same time we kind of also, and we do that for every project we develop, but this time we also thought that, how can we improve the quality and the manufacturing quality? And so every interface here and every one, when you buy one, at the end of the manufacturing process goes through about 200 tests each. And when we were in pre-production, we realized that, the failure ratio out of the line, you always have a bit of failure ratio, in every industry. But this time was so low, we were getting more and more confident, and we tune it and we really make sure, it was the best quality we could. And in the end, we say, okay, it never fails. So let's make a benefit for the user in a way. So we provide the MiniFuse with a 5 years warranty.
Okay.
Because we feel confident, it won't, if it's working out of the box, it won't fail. So this is fairly unique for this type of product, in this price range, to have this 5 years warranty. And it also testimony from us for also our partners like you. You can be confident and propose this to your customers, and we'll support you for 5 years for the duration of the life of this product.
crazy. That's a whole lot of time on warranty and stuff like this. Yes, so concluding all of this, Martin, with what you just told us about these interfaces, thank you for giving us all this information. I think that was quite a cool look into these interfaces and the process of developing this kind of product. Yes, wir hoffen alle, dass es euch auf jeden Fall auch gefallen hat. Wenn euch dieses Video gefallen hat, falls ihr noch irgendwelche Fragen an den Martin habt, dann schreibt uns das hier einfach unten drunter in die Kommentare. Wenn euch das Video gefallen hat, lasst uns auf jeden Fall ein Like da. Abonniert den Channel, wenn ihr weiterhin über neue Videos informiert bleiben wollt. Bleibt auf jeden Fall gesund und ich würde sagen, wir sehen uns im nächsten Video. Ciao, tschüss.